Welcome to Better Not.
On today's episode, we're talking about chop shops. We're talking about fuel doors in our first cars.
Let's go.
Cool.
Welcome to Better Not. I'm Will.
I'm
I
Zach.
almost tricked you again there.
Yeah.
This is the show.
I'm Will.
This is the show where two coworkers bet beers on topics they can easily Google the answer for. They bet beers on topics they can easily Google the answer for.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a new day.
New day, new topic.
New day, new topic. What are we talking about today, Zach?
Well, we were going to be talking... Oh, no, this is...
This is another episode.
Okay. All right. Scratch that. Okay.
Scratch that.
Today, we're talking about cars.
Cars. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you came to me with this, and I was like,
Came in hot.
I feel like I knew the answer of it. I said that.
Okay.
Well, what is it?
The exact question is, why is it not universal that gas caps are on the driver's side? Doesn't make sense, or not gas caps, but just the gas where you put your gas. Doesn't make sense. The driver's going to get out. That's who's going to be pumping the gas.
Yeah.
Should be on the driver's side.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm pretty sure, because I drove a BMW for 10 years, an old BMW, not loaded over here, guys. But I drove it for 10 years.
Although the car was loaded.
It was loaded. And my gas tank was on the right side. And I feel like VWs are on the right side too, right?
I don't know. My mom has a VW Bug, and I was trying to think about it. I think it's on the left.
Oh, I don't know. That's why we're betting today. So you're saying? Did you say what it was?
Did I say
why? Do you say why you're gonna?
I'm gonna.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's to even out the gas stations.
Now, does that mean like so that it's on both sides, or like that there's more gas stations and it's a gas conspiracy?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. We were at Costco today. I feel like every podcast I'm like, I was at Costco today.
Every like adult like conversation with a Costco nearby is about Costco.
Yeah. So yeah, we were at Costco. We were waiting in that long line to get gas, and my wife's like, "Do you know why they put gas tanks on both sides?" And you know, Costco, you just drive forward. You can't come in through the back.
Yeah, they've got the extending things that go around the side.
Right. So I was thinking, well, I mean, for gas stations that you just go in one way, it's probably to even out the gas stations, right?
Yeah.
But you said no. You said it was a foreign thing.
I think it's a foreign thing. Yeah, because my BMW, that's German. VW is German. And then, but I think it's like a European thing, not like, I don't think oh gosh, my parents both have Hyundais, so I should know what side theirs is on, but I can't remember what side theirs is on.
Well, my first car that I ever had was a 1990 Volvo 740 Turbo.
Okay.
And it had the gas tank on the left side, the driver's side.
Yeah.
So, and that's a foreign car.
Okay.
It's as foreign as a BMW.
I'm really interested about this.
Yeah.
I think we should look it up and get straight into this bet.
Cool.
All right, and just like on all shows, when we do a beer bet, we're betting beers on who's going to win this topic. Why don't we look it up? Fire up the generator. Ooh, this is a common question. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
One of the most frustrating experiences of driving a rental car is to pull up at a gas pump, as you would when driving your own car, only to discover that the gas tank is located on the other side of the car. This is on pbs.org.
Ooh.
So interested.
I wonder if Huell Hauser wrote this.
So,
would you look at that?
Auto manufacturers could eliminate this difficulty simply by putting fuel filter doors always on the same side of the car. Why don't they? Fuel filler doors. In the United States...
on the same side of the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they could all join forces and put it on the same side.
Right.
In the United States and other countries in which motorists drive on the right side of the road... Ooh, this is interesting. It is easier to turn right than it is to turn left.
Why?
Isn't it? I feel like it's easier to turn left than right.
I don't feel like it makes a difference. Easier meaning what? Meaning you can see more to the
meaning
to the.
Oh, it's easier because you don't have to wait for traffic to turn left or to turn right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, and then to turn left onto oncoming traffic. The majority of drivers will thus buy gas at gas stations that they can enter by turning right. But what does that?
I would argue that because the gas.
That's way easier. That's way easier. And I ran into that problem today. I was trying to go to a gas station and it was on the left and on the corner. And I got to the light and it was one of those lights with the median down the middle. And so I couldn't turn left before the light. So I had to turn left.
That's because of the road and the location of the gas.
But if it was on my right, it would have been there.
Right.
But it was on the right for the other side. So that's a hard argument because
it's a very hard argument.
You can't have the same gas station on both sides of the road.
And let me tell you this. You go to the same gas station that I do when you're in town. Like Kelms or Klims or whatever.
We always have to turn left into it.
So yeah, but here's the thing. When I leave my house, I have the option of getting on the highway or driving through town. If I drive through town, I hit it going left. If I get on the highway, I hit it going right because you get off on traffic and then you are going south. And then you can turn right there. Anyway.
It's easier to get in on the right.
I typically drive through town instead of taking the highway.
Yeah, me
which
too.
Causes me to go left.
I mean, yeah, I have to, but it's saying not easier as in like your ability to turn left or right. It's saying like it's easier to turn right into something when you have nothing obstructing you to turn right.
Yeah, I get that.
But it's hard because
what does that have to do with gas pumps though?
That's what I was saying because left or right it doesn't matter because you still have to go.
You just go into whatever.
You have to choose which stall you have to go into. Let's see if
stall. Is that what they're called? I think they're corrals.
They call them corrals?
I'm just kidding. I don't know what they're called.
It kind of that's a good one. Write that down. I could write it down. I don't know why. Write that down, Zach. What are they called?
Gas stations.
Ooh, gas station stations?
I don't know.
I called them stalls. You called them corrals.
I was just kidding, but sure.
Okay, so it's easier to turn right than turn left. A majority of drivers will thus buy gas at stations they can enter by turning right. I don't care what side they can turn. Suppose gas tanks were always on the driver's side of the car, which that's American cars. Mm-hmm. Drivers would then have to park on the right side of an open pump in order to fill their tanks. During crowded hours, all spots on the right sides of pumps would be filled.
So I'm right. I said it was for freaking keep it.
Wait. Okay, we're not done with this article.
I won.
We're not done with this article.
I won.
During crowded hours, all spots on the right sides of pumps would be filled, even while most spots on the left sides of the pumps remained empty.
Here's the thing, though, is all you have to do is turn around. Like
I know, I agree.
You know, if they're all on the right, you literally just go make a U-turn and pull into the.
And people do that. Putting fuel filler doors on different sides of different cars thus means that some cars can access the pumps on the left, and this makes it less likely that drivers will have to wait in line for gas. That benefit greatly outweighs the cost of additional pulling up to the wrong side. Okay. After my book was published, that was a quote from someone who wrote a book. Some economist. Patty U. Here's my answer suggested by a former student, Patty U.
That sounds like a fake name.
After my book was published, many readers wrote to complain that no manufacturers deliberately chose the location of their fuel filler doors for the reasons suggested by Miss U. Perhaps not, but that doesn't mean her explanation fails. And then explains.
See, here's what I'm thinking, though. Why don't they just put in the center of the back of the car? And then you can, no matter what side, you just pump right in the center.
It was like that in the old Mustangs, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
Oh, you're right. It was like on the top.
It was under the emblem.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. This doesn't actually say... I mean, it's talking about it's trying to think about this as like some Darwin economic equilibrium kind of thing. But I don't think that's what it is. That's not an actual answer. That's like someone trying to conceptually think about something. And I'm like, I rolled my eyes. For the people listening, I rolled my eyes at the Darwinian.
You're like, this is like philosophy.
Yeah.
It's some philosophy. Patty Hughes, a philosophy teacher at Joe Blow College, wrote this.
This one's from allstate.com.
Okay.
Which probably has a little bit more to do with cars.
Yeah.
All mechanisms, such as big speakers, must be placed on the left side. All mechanisms, such as big speaker, it says, such as a big speaker?
That's false.
Must be placed on the left side.
My wife's Jeep has the subwoofer on the right-hand side.
Engineers put the fuel door on the right. No. Says Ford? Ford puts it on the left.
Yeah, it's on the left.
What?
Okay, that's obviously wrong in every direction. I'm just saying.
In the United States, there's no regulations that specify where a fuel door should be placed. So, car company engineers place the door to the gas tank on whichever side offers the easiest packaging, according to Ford spokesman. The placement of the fuel door is mainly a factor of fuel tank design, location, and underbody packaging. Nissan's communication manager... So that was a Ford guy that said that.
Okay.
Nissan says communications manager Steve Yeager said, with all of the structure and components located underneath the vehicle, engineers would quickly encounter restrictions in trying to route the filler tube in the same side on every vehicle. So it's an engineering issue.
It's not.
That's both Nissan and Ford.
Look at. I'm going to draw this out. Here's a tank, right? You've got it like this. You've got the top.
It's engineering, though. People design their cars differently. Like Nissan's going to design it different than Ford.
Look, though. This is your fuel pump. You have a hose that comes off and it goes to your fuel door.
Yeah.
That's all that it is. You can turn that around and put it on the other side. There's nothing.
I agree with you, but I think it's not my place to say what an engineer is supposed to do.
Well, that's wrong, though. I'm telling you, that's literally, unless there's something on the other side, which there's not.
But this is spokesman from both car companies, and the United States has no regulations.
Right. Well, why would they? No reason to justify why you should put it on one side or the other.
I know, but you're saying, but your argument was that they did it. Well, we're both wrong, because your argument is to
for the gas stations
to have a better time, right?
Yeah, have a good old time.
Have a good old time with the gas.
Yeah.
And then my argument is it's a regional thing.
Right.
We're both wrong.
The first article said I was right.
No, it didn't.
And these engineers, that's BS. Look at any car. There's nothing back there on the sides.
The first article was all speculation on why they think it could be.
That was Patty's article. The first article.
That was all like philosophy. This one was Allstate, and they interviewed actual
the Allstate
engineers.
one was wrong. No. That's
that
false.
was engineers
go look under your car. You'll see the same exact thing where on the other side of your gas tank. It's just going to be body. That's it.
Okay.
You can move it to the other side.
In an appropriate research article, we would look up multiple sources. We've looked up two. One was philosophy. I'm rolling my eyes again. And the second was Allstate, actual engineers. Reader's Digest. Here we go.
Gosh.
Well, I've got
this
some more.
Is a legitimate.
I've got some
source.
more. I've got some more. Here we go. And that's not a real article.
Called it.
Okay. Southern Living.
Oh yeah. Did friggin' Joanna Gaines write this?
The reason cars have gas tanks on different sides. Plus, a handy trick for remembering which side yours is on. Do you know the trick?
Yeah, it's the gas handle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know. That was
on the picture.
No, there's a little arrow.
Yeah, there's an arrow, but I think it's usually which side the gas handle's on too.
Oh, okay. Okay. What does Southern Living say? It's reasonable to assume that something as essential to a car as its gas tank would be closely regulated by manufacturers. On the contrary, there is no regulation. So that saying that there's no regulation defeats your argument and mine. I agree that it defeats mine. but it defeats both of ours, as in nobody wins.
No, regulation is set by the state or the government.
No, it says no regulation.
I know.
By the United States.
Yeah, because there's no reason for it.
Exactly. There's no
Oh,
reason.
I get what you're saying.
There's no reason for the
Okay. Yeah.
There's no reason. In an interview with
there's no reason to make a law for it.
This backs up this is a second source that backs up the Allstate source.
Oh gosh.
It basically just reiterates what Allstate says.
All right, well, I'm going to give you this one even though I think
No. We both didn't win. No, we both didn't win. Cuz I said regional.
Okay. So we're just not going to have a beer or what?
You're going to bring the beer.
Okay.
And I owe you.
All right. So it's good.
We should just drink that Hefeweizen again.
I actually got another Hefeweizen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I went to Bevmo and I'm like, both these look so good. Which one do I want? I'm like, I'm just going to take them both.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're still recording right now. If you don't follow, Zach and I were just talking about Maggie, Zach's lab, is...
Labrador.
Yeah. Is a Instagram model.
Yeah.
Maggie _May_girl. If you don't follow, you should definitely follow. There's a million people listening to this podcast. It's gonna blow up. She has more followers than us on
I know.
Instagram.
I know.
Let it be known.
And I've had an Instagram for what, 10 years or something?
Yeah.
She's got like 7 times more followers.
I had one for I've had Instagram since my junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And she has more followers than I had.
When was the first picture that she posted? I feel like she's only had this Instagram for like 2 months or something.
April?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. These are good pictures of her. I'm a little jelly. That's pretty great. I'm working my butt off to get followers and
man, he's doing nothing. He's killing it.
I just need a dog.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
I've been telling you for a long time.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Get a dog. Get a dog. All right. Anyway.
Beer corner. Nobody won. So Zach brought.
This is.
I have a
This is probably on my top 3 favorite beers. This is Widmer Hefeweizen. It is from Oregon. Let's see, Portland, Oregon. It was established in 1984. It says, this naturally cloudy beer starts with the highest quality malted wheat. Its bold, clean flavor and pronounced citrus and floral aromas. Oh my gosh. Aromas.
Armus? Armus, what you doing over there?
He pop bananas?
He pop?
You have to put that as the video thing, that crazy the guy on that movie.
The hip hop?
He pop bananas?
No.
No?
I might put a picture of Maggie now.
Oh, okay, sure. Aromas are what defines American Hefeweizen. Prost to the original.
Hey, Prost!
And actually, I have a Widmer mirror in my garage, and it we'll have to go read what it says. It explains like the whole history.
Oh.
Or actually, why don't I just go take a picture of it?
Go take a picture and then you can read it. Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't know the camera.
So it says Widmer Brothers Brewing began like many inspired businesses over beer in Germany in 1984 at one of Düsseldorf's famed brew pubs, Zum Urage. I guess that's the guy's name. We met a brewmaster who was generous enough to share some of his secrets, and then he went a step further. He gave us his blessing to use his specific Albier yeast on the condition that we never reveal the secrets and always credit him on every mirror. On every mirror. Whenever they sell the minors.
Whenever we're talking about minors.
So yeah, credit him on every mirror. So we do. Upon returning to Portland, we started brewing beer. First in small batches for ourselves, then for friends, then for friends of friends, then for large weddings, small rocket launches, medium-sized kennel clubs, and now for you. If you're ever in the neighborhood, stop by for a pint. In the meantime, we offer a prost to your success. May it be as satisfying as our beer.
Nice.
Isn't that awesome? And it's got pictures of the two brewers on here, Kurt and Rob.
That's great.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
My dad gave me that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to Beer Corner and crack this. Crack this.
Let's do it.
Son. That was less exciting than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't talk about it. Game of Life. Do you know how to play the Game of Life?
I've never played Life.
And
It's
then
one
you
of the
talked
games
about
I've never played.
yeah. Game of Life. Let me tell you about it. You ready?
Are you really talking about the board game Life? Or
No, I'm
okay.
talking about the Game of Life.
Okay. Just make sure you do the swirl at the bottom like you did the last one.
The Game of Life, you have to commit to joining it. Are you ready to join it?
Swirl a lot.
So, the Game of Life means that you have to alter your label, either on a paper label by doing your little thumb and damaging the label, or tilting your tab or denting your can. And if you commit to this game, you must play forever. For life. That's the Game of Life. And if you do not alter your label, you must drink the beer completely. You must chug the beer completely.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Sorry. You're not going to join the game?
No, what's your thing?
That's the Game of Life.
I know, but what do you do for yours?
I alter the label.
Do you? On every single beer that you ever have?
Yeah, my buddies hold me to it, but you can't hold me to it if you're not going to join the game.
I'm not going to do that. I'll never remember. I'll never do it.
Well, that's the thing is you will remember after you have to chug a few beers.
No.
All you do is like when you open your beer, you have to alter it before you take a sip.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Sorry.
It's a great game. It's a great game. Anyways, alter your labels.
All right.
But also, if your label is altered, don't drink that beer.
Yeah.
Because it's been tampered with. Hold on
Mitchell does do that. He cracks his beer just barely, and so that you can always see the tab, and that's how he knows it's his.
I always twist my tab or go all the way around.
Or not the tab, but the part that goes in, he just cracks it barely, so it's still up.
That would make it so hard to drink.
He downs them, so I don't know. You would think.
You brought some good beers today.
Right? Not awesome.
That's a pure Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it should taste like. So my parents used to have this on tap at the restaurant.
Okay.
There's so much wheat in those kegs that when they deliver it upside down. So when you flip it, all that wheat goes from the top down. Mm-hmm. And for probably a day or two, after you flip it, when you pour it, it literally comes out looking like milk.
Whoa. Yeah,
it's like so thick because it's unfiltered. It's an unfiltered wheat beer.
Mm-hmm.
And it tastes so good. So freaking good.
It tastes really good. Do they have to shake up that keg often?
Most people don't know it. So when you pour it, it ends up looking like this. Mm-hmm. But if you flip it, and it's funny because I used to go different places and I'd be like, hey, will you just flip the keg or let me do it? And sometimes they would. Most times they wouldn't.
That's funny.
But when they would, they'd be like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with this? I'm like, no, it's supposed to be like that. Like when they deliver it, deliver it. Most places deliver it like that.
That's funny that you say, can I go back there and flip your kegs for you?
Yeah, I know. Usually they look at me. I'm like, no, I swear you're going to be like tripping.
Yeah. You're going to be tripping when I flip your kegs.
Yeah.
When I'm flipping, you're going to be tripping.
Yeah.
This is so good. It's so cloudy. It's so delicious. Hefeweizens. Okay. IPA people, can we get on the Hefeweizen train? I know you're trying to do these cloudy IPAs.
Well, they're
or
trying to
whatever.
get to this, is what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it look delicious, but it still tastes like crap.
Just make a Hefeweizen. Just
Yeah,
do it.
Right?
The cloudy IPAs, they're already like trying hard enough.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I do love a cloudy IPA. I love this way better. Can you love something more than loving something else?
I would say, yeah.
That's
I love my Jeep more than my truck.
Oh, that's interesting. Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I really love my truck. I use it all the time.
Okay.
Just for throwing crap in the back.
Yeah.
But I love my Jeep.
You love your Jeep?
Love my Jeep.
What's for the viewers and listeners, what's your Jeep? Will you send me a picture of your Jeep so I can post it?
Sure.
And give me the license plate so I can
Yeah. I'll send you a front because there's no license plate on the front.
Yeah. I can post that in the video and then on the gram or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, what kind of Jeep do you drive?
It's a Jeep Wrangler.
It's a Wrangler, but it's like a certain type, right?
No. YJ. Sorry.
YJ.
Yeah. 93.
Nope. Just
Well,
Jeep,
I thought
Jeep
you were,
Wrangler.
because they have the models. They have like the Sahara, the Renegade, different stuff like that. Mine's just the Jeep Wrangler, the base model or whatever.
But the YJ, what year is that one?
It's a 93.
That's right.
I've had it for 16 years.
16. That's crazy. How many miles did it have on it when you got it?
It had, I think, 63,000. It's at 201,000 now.
You have 201 on that thing?
Yeah.
That little Jeep?
Yeah. Dude, I drove that thing back and forth from Porterville to Fresno State for about 2.5 years. Never had any issues with it. Not one time. That car runs like no other.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That was my first car. I didn't have any issues with it. And then I slipped on some ice, blew that thing up.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Have I talked about that on the podcast?
No.
Yeah. Had a BMW.
Didn't you hit a tree or something?
Oh, yeah. This is the car episode. I can talk about my car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Bertha. Bertha was my BMW. It was a...
Oh, I forgot. The inside of these caps say something.
Oh. I can't tell what it says. So my first car, was a 1994 black 525. Your light's still on.
Oh, thank you.
My first car was a black 1994 BMW.
What model?
525i.
5 Series?
5 Series.
Okay.
So it was
A little bigger, but not the biggest.
Is the mid-range one.
Mm-hmm.
The 7 Series are huge.
Yeah.
Those are very big cars.
Cadillacs.
Yeah. So I had the 5 Series. It was the base model, 25i.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Black interior. It was black on black.
Leather?
Black leather interior.
Nice.
And
that's fancy.
It was fancy. If you had that car in 94, you were rich.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's what they were driving on Beverly Hills.
Yeah. And I had that car, was it 10 years old? No. When was I 16? In 2006. Yeah, it was only like 10 years old. No,
13.
It was 13, yeah. So I got it for $4,000.
It's cheap.
I bought it, though.
Nice.
I worked my butt off to get it.
What'd you do? Is that when you were working illegally? Doing plastic stuff?
That's crazy. That was child labor for sure. No, I think I was working at Zaxby's at that time. And I paid my dad bought it and I bought it back from him, like over the years.
Okay.
Okay, so I slipped on some ice. I had that car for 6 years, I think. Okay. 6 or 7 years. And I slipped on some ice driving back on Christmas Day. Driving back home.
Do they have a lot of ice in Atlanta?
No. That's why I slipped on some ice. I don't know anything about driving on ice.
Yeah.
Atlanta drivers, if it snows or ices a little bit, the entire city shuts down.
Really?
They don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
And it does it probably like once every 3 years.
So my aunt lives in Colorado, and she has a car that is not or she used to have a car that was not 4-wheel drive. And so she would have to get snow tires. So every year she would go and get her tires switched out into the snow tires.
Yeah, that's, I would probably say that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even see it. I was going down a small, like not even like a big hill, and I couldn't control my car.
That's crazy.
I was just drifting, and then I fell into a ravine.
That's nuts.
Very far off the road.
Did you think you were going to die?
I didn't think I was going to die, no. I wasn't going very fast. That was the thing. I was just out of control.
Yeah.
and I wasn't going very fast, but I was sliding. And so I went off and I fell into this ravine, a road I'd driven 1,000,000 times, which that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah.
I drive past that all the time and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That was right where that was. And my car was totaled, technically.
Okay.
I think it could still drive a little bit, but it wasn't worth fixing.
Was the frame bent on it?
I don't really know. I don't remember how bad it was, but it was.
Because a lot of times if the frame's bent, they'll just total it.
Yeah.
'Cause your car's not going to drive straight, you know?
But I mean, it wasn't a very expensive car. And then I had it for so long and it had a bajillion miles on it. Yeah, I had to sit there and wait on the side of the road in the snow.
Did your airbag go off?
No.
Really?
Yeah. It didn't go off and I hit the front. Crazy. You want to know who do you think the first person to show up on the scene was?
First person?
Yeah, not like just someone driving by, but who do you think the first person on the scene was?
Was it somebody famous?
No, like
Out of like the help?
out of like the help you call for, who do you think the first person there was?
The tow truck.
No.
The ambulance?
No.
The police?
No.
The pizza guy?
No. The fire hydrant repair guy.
Wait, you hit a fire hydrant?
I hit a fire hydrant. I didn't even know.
And the water is going off?
I guess. First person out there was a fire hydrant guy to inspect and turn off the water for the fire hydrant.
Wow.
First guy.
Okay.
And did not help me a bit.
Really?
I was sitting on the side of the road.
He probably gets this all day, every day.
I was sitting on the side of the road and I didn't have any cold weather gear because I drove from my house to my friend's house and back.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting on being outside for very long. I didn't even bring a jacket.
Why don't you just chill in your car?
My car was deep in the side of the road. I needed help. And the fire hydrant had closed my driver's side door. I had to slip out the window.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently I'd hit it on the side and I slipped off. I barely remember.
Dude, you're lucky.
I know.
You were lucky that didn't hurt you. That's crazy.
I know. Okay. So it took a long time. Blah, 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 blah. My dad wasn't mad. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. We drive to this BMW chop shop, essentially.
Okay.
And the next day or the next week or whatever. And we pull in and we're like, here's this. Can we get some money for it? You know, it's pieces of a BMW. You could use it. And he's like, yeah, sure. $500. I was like, okay, that's great. We're like, okay, well, I guess he needs a car now.
Yeah.
And this is in college. And we're like, what do you have? And I think the guy,
the chop shop?
It was a BMW chop shop that also, they had some like repaired BMWs that they had fixed up.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I've got a 525i BMW 1994. And
Same exact car.
But the guy we were talking to didn't know that we had just brought that car in.
Oh, okay.
So we go and look at it. Same car, tan interior instead of black interior, which I was sad about because I liked the black interior.
Why don't you just tell him to switch it?
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't know that. It's good. Okay. So, well, it was still like the dash too. That was tan too.
Oh, okay.
So, everything was black. My car was cool growing up. So, less miles. Okay. Engine in better shape. Okay. Car in better shape. All right. And half price.
Really?
I got it for $1,900. You made money. I got it for $1,900.
Wow.
I sold the broken crap car for $500.
What did they give you the insurance?
No, my dad didn't have collision or whatever.
Really?
The personal damage insurance? No.
Okay.
Well, it's a piece of junk car, you know.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Well, if you have like an old car, you don't get that insurance.
I have full coverage on my Jeep. It's only like $20 more a month or something. Or I don't even know if it's a month. I don't even. I think it's like. I think total it was like. Well, it probably is a month. Yeah. I think it was like $200 more a year for complete full.
Yeah, but on your Jeep though, my car was. Well, I guess my car wasn't worth that much. But like, it's like pointless though. Like your Jeep's not worth that much.
Yeah, I mean they'd probably only give me $4 or $5 grand.
See, that's the thing is like you're paying a few $100s a year and then if they give you money back, it'll be only a few grand.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it adds up.
10 years, $200. It's, $2,000, 20 years. It would take me 20 years,
They're coming for you. They're coming for your money. I don't know. I mean, on your big cars, like if you totaled one of those, I mean, that's...
No, you have to have full coverage on that.
Yeah, that's like, 30 or 40 grand that you're out,
So my buddy, when he got out of high school, went in... he did college for a little bit, but he went into the military. Right when he got into the military, he bought a brand new Jeep Liberty. It was like I don't even know, like close to 40 grand car.
Mm.
And he had very crappy insurance, and he ran a red light on an accident, and someone hit him, and they did not cover for his full coverage.
Yeah.
And he has the car still parked at his uncle's house.
Just like totaled?
Completely totaled. I saw it and I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you're alive.
That's rough.
And yeah, he had to pay the car off and by himself.
Oh yeah, you did tell me about this story. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he still has the car. He's like, he's like, the engine's great. Eventually, when this car gets old, I'll buy an old car, switch out the engine.
Why didn't he sell the parts?
I mean, he owed freaking 40 grand on this car.
Yeah, sell the parts though.
Yeah, but you could probably only get a couple grand.
Yeah.
I mean, the body was completely, everything was totaled. Yeah. But yeah, he's like, I'll just hold on to the engine and then I'll buy, 10, 20 years from now, I'll buy one, get it repainted, put the new engine in, I'll have a brand new car.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad, the only reason I had an old BMW like I had was my dad was always like doing work on those BMWs. Mm-hmm. That's why I know, or I thought I knew a little bit about like the left and right side, gas tank things, but I don't know. But we went to that chop shop all the time.
Okay.
So that chop shop was BMW specific, I think. The guy just, he had, it was kind of like a graveyard of BMWs. Mm-hmm. And then you'd bring in your BMW and he would salvage the pieces from all these like auction parts BMWs that cool. he would have.
So when I was in high school before I got my license, we were really into longboarding. And I know we talked about this kind of on the skateboard episode, mm-hmm. but so before we had our license, we would just get our skateboards on a Saturday and we would go all day looking for hills. Mm-hmm. And my buddy's mom dropped us off because we wanted to go out to like the Orange Grove areas outside of Porterville. And so she dropped us off. She's like, okay, just call me when you want me to come pick you up or whatever. And we went for miles and freaking miles. And my buddy, he kept just going, let's just keep going west. Let's just keep going west. He said that for like an hour. And we were just like, okay, we're going to eventually find a hill, We ran across a legit freaking chop shop. These guys are out front of this crappy house and they're pulling all the parts off of this car, or they had multiple cars.
Yeah.
And we are skating by and literally they all stop what they're doing, walk to the front of the house and start staring at us.
Okay.
It was super freaking sketchy.
I bet they chop shop organs in there too, right?
Yeah. Well, who knows? But I'm sure it was a drug house. It was probably a chop shop. It was everything else,
Sketch.
It was very freaking sketchy. And we're just like, okay, if that's not a chop shop, I don't know what we did wrong for these guys to stop what they're doing and come stare at us.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That would freak me out.
Yeah, it was freaking crazy. Out in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know if we had we must have had cell phones because we had to call the mom to come get us again.
Oh gosh.
So I got new tires today for my Jeep, and man, it just rides so smooth and like looks so much better. When I was in Cambria, I can't remember if I don't think we podcasted since then. We went and ate at Main Street Grill.
Yeah.
And we were leaving and some guy's like, hey, yelling out of the car. And he's like, your tire's going flat. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I look back and it's like, I could see the nail sticking out of the side of the tire. And so I flip around and there was a gas station right there. And I'm like thinking, oh gosh, I'm going to have to buy it or hire a tow truck to come, move the car and everything. And And then I remembered I have a spare on the back, so I pulled off the spare, and I've had that spare the whole time I've had the car, 16 years.
Yeah.
And it was completely flat. I put air in it, and it held air.
Yeah.
I was able to drive it all the way home.
Yeah.
Drove it to Slow today to get tires. I was shocked. But yeah, I got rid of that tire today. Like, this thing's gonna blow, man. It's all cracked on the sides and everything.
Oh my gosh. That was Savannah's spare.
Oh yeah.
We blew a tire when we first moved here on the way out here.
Okay.
Savannah's parents drove her car to Las Vegas, and we flew from our honeymoon to Las Vegas and drove the rest of the way. And we blew a tire on the way from Vegas to here, outside of Bakersfield. And she hadn't addressed her tire in forever, and the tire was a piece of junk.
Yeah.
And we drove
those little donut.
Yeah,
guys?
it was a donut, and it was flat.
Yeah.
So we put a flat tire and replaced the other flat tire.
Yeah.
And we hobbled to a place to fill it up.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. What's the proper etiquette for alerting someone that they've got something wrong with their car?
Start honking and be like pointing, like viciously, like, ah.
I don't know how to respond to those people, because I've had that happen to me like before, and it was like maybe my hatch was open or something.
Oh yeah. My gas cap's open.
Yeah.
You don't need to be honking at me.
Yeah. But I'm usually like, what are you doing? Like, I'm more like, whoa, this guy's crazy.
What's wrong
Get a
with
look
you?
at this guy.
Yeah. When it's really you that has something wrong.
So what's the proper etiquette of like honking? So like, is how like a hard honk, like, man.
No, that's get out
aggressive.
of the way. That's
get out of the way. But
it's like toot toot.
So a short double tap.
Yeah, and then maybe like a, hey, waving your hand towards you. Hey, come here.
So double tap wave.
Not wave, because if you wave, then they're thinking that, you're waving at them like you know them.
So aggressive would be a long press, and then friendly is a double tap.
Yeah.
Or like a single.
It can't be a beep.
Beep beep.
Because a beep is go.
Okay.
Beep beep is like
one beep.
Hey.
One beep is like you need to get off your phone, pay attention to the light. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
2 beeps is, hey bud, what's up?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then a long press is aggressive. I'm very mad at you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other driving etiquette?
I mean, there's the middle finger, but
The middle finger. Okay.
Yeah.
That's like
that
you've
pretty
done
much
something.
gets the point across.
Yeah. Okay. Any other honking etiquette?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to know.
Okay.
Well, I feel like that's about it for this episode.
Cool.
What are we talking about next week, Zach?
Next week, we're talking about flat Earth.
Are we going to get him on next week?
That's the goal.
All right. Well, our goal is to get our coworker.
Tiki Tiki Tyrone.
Tiki Tyrone. Call up Tyrone. Call him. You need to hear that song.
I've never heard that song.
I need to play it for you. Anyways, Tyrone is really in support of flat Earth.
Right.
And Zach and I disagree with that statement. Well, I disagree. What do you think?
I'm kind of like Canada. I don't really care. I'm just going to go neutral with it. It's one of the things that if it was flat, it doesn't make a difference to me.
And I think in reality, we might come to the conclusion that we don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. So that's going to be next week. We're going to really try for that episode. There's a possibility we might not get to it, so I don't want to lose anyone's hope. But
be ready.
Be ready.
It's going to be a good episode.
Flat Earth all day.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. You can find us on YouTube. Hey, YouTubers, I'm waving at you. If you're not listening to us on YouTube, head over to YouTube.
That is like the most dad thing ever. Hey, YouTubers, I'm waving at you.
Yeah. Well, if you're not listening to us on YouTube, go find us on YouTube. Just type in Better Not in YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah, you'll find us.
And find this specific episode about the cars and the gas tanks and whatnot. I don't know what I'm going to name this episode yet. But go like it, subscribe to us, and say a comment on this episode specifically about if you have anything to talk about on there. Find us on Instagram, on the YouTubes, on the Facebooks, And comment on any bets you want us to do in the future. You can join our Patreon. If you join our Patreon, I will listen to your comments a lot more. You can also get our YouTube videos a lot sooner on Patreon, sometimes 1 to 2 weeks further in advance. We would love for you to join our Patreon, and it supports our podcast. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.
Peace.
The Better Not Podcast is Will Cobb and Zach Freeman, produced by Cobblestone Productions. All the music you hear in the show is written by Will Cobb and mixed by Chad Mcilvenna. Thank you so much to Savannah, my wife, for singing on all the tracks that you hear. We post our episodes now on YouTube. Go head over there and subscribe to us and like our video. And don't forget to sign up for patreon.com/betternot and support us for $5 a month. It goes a long way for helping us out. Thank you so much for listening, and see you on the next one.